This is Welsh ASMR 82, and as you can see, we're going to do another map video today. And the map that I've chosen to do is that of South America. We're going to do this in several parts. The first part is going to be looking at the overall territorial map of South America, and we will look at the capitals and major cities in the countries, and then after that we'll look a little bit more at the topography and the rivers and mountains on a slightly more detailed map. How well do you know your South American countries then? Let's find out. I think any guide or explanation of South America probably has to start talking about Brazil. Brasilia. 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 So, Brasilia is a sort of manufactured capital. They made a city where there wasn't one before and moved people out there. People often think that the capital is in fact Rio de Janeiro. Rio de Janeiro. Or even Sao Paulo. Sao Paulo. Saint Paul, Sao Paulo. Rio de Janeiro. The River of January. It's because they used to be the capitals. But then they moved it to Brasilia. This is the mighty Amazon. Manaus, Belém, Fortaleza, Natal, Recife, Salvador, Belo Horizonte, Santos, Curitiba, Porto Alegre. These are all major cities in a country whose population is more than 350 million people. Brazil. We can see there's the largest of the South American countries in landmass, dominated by the Amazon River and all of the rivers coming off it. And in the central role, it's surrounded by all of these other countries. If you didn't know, because some people don't, Brazil speak Portuguese, albeit with a slightly different accent, akin to American English and British English. However, these all speak Spanish. Except for these three. Guyana, whose capital is Georgetown. Suriname, which is Paramaribo, and French Guiana with Cayenne. Guyana is an English-speaking country. Suriname, Dutch, and shock horror, French Guiana is French-speaking. So these spoil it a little bit. Venezuela, with the capital Caracas, is at the northernmost point. We can see that Trinidad and Tobago from the Caribbean islands is here as well. Panama, home of the canal, links Central America and Mexico to Colombia. We can see the very famous cities of Medellin. A Colombian would pronounce this with the J. Medellin, Cali, and very famously Barranquilla. I say Barranquilla is very famous because this is where Shakira comes from. Barranquilla. But Bogota is the capital. Ecuador, named because it's on the equator. Ecuador, shock horror, is Spanish for equator, has the capital of Quito, which is a very, very high capital. Then we have Peru. Peru's capital is Lima. Venezuela, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru. And then we come on to Bolivia, whose capital is La Paz, peace, war and peace, peace, La Paz. And somewhere called Sucre, which means sugar. Asunción is the capital of Paraguay. And here we have this long, thin country. It's Chile, not Chile, like in English. And Santiago is the capital of Chile. Here, the second largest country in South America, with the capital of clean air, Buenos Aires, is of course Argentina. A couple of famous cities: Bahía Blanca, Paraná, Rosario, Córdoba, and down here-ish is a place called Trelew, where they speak Welsh. I've met a couple of Argentinians that speak Welsh, and when someone speaks in Welsh, they often drop in English words into the sentence. So if you're saying something like, for example, I'm going to the shop later to buy. I'm trying to think of something that I wouldn't say in Welsh. I can't think of anything. A watermelon. I don't know what watermelon is in Welsh. So I would just say, to mynd I shop wedyn I brynu watermelon. But when the Welsh speakers in Argentina do this, they replace those words with Spanish words. So they'd say something like, to mynd I shop wedyn Ibrani sandia, because sandia is the word for watermelon in Spanish. And last but not least, Montevideo is the capital of Uruguay, one of the most liberal countries in South America. Consumption of cannabis is legal for locals only, and lots of other things that make it a bit more like the Holland or Denmark of South America. Uruguay, Argentina, Chile, Paraguay, Bolivia, Peru, Ecuador, Colombia, Venezuela, Brasil. Okay. Let's have a little look at the rest of the continent. Okay, so we're looking at the the northernmost part of South America, and we can't really go without talking about the Amazon River, can we? Amazonas. This is the longest river in the world, and it breaks off into many parts, but essentially it completely feeds the huge rainforest in this area, often called the lungs of planet Earth, for all of the carbon dioxide that they use to create oxygen for us living things. Most living things need oxygen anyway. So Brazil goes from here all the way around and down, and then its border runs along here, and it borders those countries that we talked about earlier on, such as Venezuela in the north here, Colombia, Ecuador, not technically bordering Brazil, Peru, Bolivia, and then below we'll see in a moment that Paraguay and Argentina and Uruguay all share borders. So in fact, Ecuador is the only country that doesn't have a border with Brazil in South America. Ecuador, this part here, way off into the sea. There's a place called Easter Island, and technically Ecuador own Easter Island. Yeah, Ecuador, Quito. So this is Colombia. Let's take a little. Bogota, the capital. Bogota. It's just here. Colombia, and this is the border with Panama that we talked about earlier. Lots of important cities. It's got a lot of coastline up here, and then it borders with Venezuela here. And Venezuela has Trinidad and Tobago, Grenada, Barbados, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, Martinique, all very close to it. I thought that they were all far more in the north in the Caribbean Sea, but they're practically touching the shore. Trinidad is practically touching the shore here of South America. Trinidad and Tobago is an English-speaking country, primarily, although ironically, its capital is the Port of Spain. The capital of Venezuela's Caracas. There's a place named here, El Tigre. See if you can see. El Tigre. I'm pretty sure that there aren't any tigers in South America. Yeah, and even more up here. Just to the north here, Curaçao, Aruba, some more countries that I thought were much, much more northernly than that. Aruba is still a part of the Netherlands, Holland, as is Bonaire. Yet, this island group here, islands Los Roques, are part of Venezuela, as is La Tortuga. Of course, it means the turtle or tortoise. We briefly touched on these countries being English-speaking, Dutch-speaking and French-speaking earlier on, compared to the massive Latino-Americano, Portuguese and Spanish contingents. Actually, Belém, I believe, means Bethlehem in Portuguese. And this state here is Maranhão. How impressive is this river? Absolutely enormous. And the backbone, if these are the lungs of South America, this has to be its spine. course, the Andes. Just here is Machu Picchu, near the city of Cusco. And that's in Peru. It is on my bucket list to go there. Please tell me if you've been there, because I'd really like to know more about it. Okay, let's take a little look at the southern tip of South America. So, in the southernmost tip of South America, we find 4 countries. Chile, Argentina, Paraguay, and Uruguay. Rio de la Plata. So this means river of silver, and apparently they found quite a lot of silver deposits here. And originally all these countries were, just parts of Spain. So nowadays, as the estuary comes in, the river comes out, Buenos Aires is just across from Montevideo, and obviously just across the other side of the river, which eventually becomes the sea, is a completely different country. Aha! There you are. Rawson, Trelew, Puerto Madryn. Madryn is a Welsh word. Puerto Madryn, the port of Madryn. Rawson, and then Trelew. Tre means town, and Llew is a lion, so Lion Town. Again, I don't think there are any lions in South America, but it's quite fiercely named. And this is the Welsh-speaking area of Argentina. You can see all the references to silver here. La Plata, Mar del Plata, the Sea of Silver. It's ingrained in this area. Ladies and gentlemen, is a whirlwind tour of South America. I hope you enjoyed it. And I also released a video earlier on explaining that I've gone onto Instagram. I'm sure my attention span will be quite short-lived, but whilst I'm still vaguely enthusiastic about it, then pop over to Instagram and like a couple of my videos and follow me, and have a little chat if you want to. I really want to speak a bit more with some of you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you're either fast asleep or you are nearly there, or nicely relaxed at least. And I will hopefully speak to you soon. Have a lovely day and speak soon.